William Rufus has become one of the most famous ghosts and ghost stories in the New Forest, and there's a dream attached to the folklore story that foreshadows William's death, basically. And I want to delve into this a little bit deeper and understand why the chroniclers would have added this in not long after he died. To understand this, we've got to understand a little bit more about Rufus himself. He's not a well-liked king. He's got this awful relationship with the church. He keeps bishops and even archbishops' positions free so he can inherit the income. As an example of this, in 1089, when Archbishop Lefranc dies, it's not until 1093 that Anselm is appointed, and this relationship itself even turns sour. Now, in terms of chroniclers, there's two main players. The 12th century monk William of Malmesbury, writing around 1128. The second is this guy called Benoit de Saint-Maur. He is writing in Henry II's reign in the latter half of the 12th century. Both writers aren't particularly kind to William, but it's Benoit's account where we get this more vivid telling of the dream. He basically enters this church, he has this overarching feeling of hunger come over him, and he sees this deer on the altar, starts eating it, looks up, looks back down, and realises it's a man, but he's overcome with hunger that he ends up eating him. He wakes up, seeks the advice of Bishop Gundulf of Rochester, who basically says, yeah, this is because you've been a bad king to the English, and you've also sinned to the church. He then obviously ignores this advice, heads out hunting, and then is found killed. Now, this storytelling plays into this narrative that the king disrespected the church, and he was unwilling to listen to religious advice. Plenty of accounts are not that favourable of him. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle writes, "He was very strong and violent over his land and his men, and with all his neighbours, and very terrible. He humiliated God's church, and in his days, when the elders fell, in bishoprics and abbacies, he either granted them all in return for money, or held in his own hand and put out at rent." So basically, the chroniclers are saying William II is not a particularly popular monarch. But it's really interesting to look into why this is the case. The king had this horrendous relationship with the church. He was a suspected homosexual, which in the eyes of the church then was obviously not a good thing. And these stories told afterwards maintained this narrative that he was disrespectful to the church and therefore paid for it with these terrible prophetic dreams before his death.